On today's Minute Apes, excuse me, sir. I hope you don't mind me saying, but this is a waste of time.
Take your sticking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Welcome to the divine fountain.
We are the good human and the dead human! Where there is fire, there is smoke. Now fight like apes! The minute of the 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 apes!
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the and we got a little boom music there. Every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time, and I won't have any more bumps of music. I was too busy actually looking over at Sean's Dr. Zayas thing that he got.
Dr. Z from the Hanging with Dr. Z. I have one of 6 statues from being a supporter of the Kickstarter for Hanging with Dr. Z.
Have you ever done that? You're so into what you're saying, but your mind is also looking at something else. And
Yes, because I'm watching Gertie to make sure she doesn't eat any of the cables in here.
So, Richard, you were with the T's. Tell everybody what you were referencing. Let's just go ahead and put it out there.
I was referencing the most boring delivery of a line in this minute that Marky Mark says that basically describes everything that has happened so far.
I think I had a feeling that that's why you used that. So, Sean, tell us minute 8 so we can get into this entirely.
All right, we start minute 8 with Captain Leo Davidson reporting to the bridge and end with the monkey launching at 1600.
Here we come, minute 8, Marky Mark, Planet of the Apes.
We found it. It's moving like a storm.
That's what it is. It's an electromagnetic storm.
Jesus, all the digital clocks have stopped.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so's the sun till you get too close to it.
This is weird. I'm picking up frequency patterns.
Tune them in.
I'm getting every electronic communication from Earth, from all time. The storm must be bouncing it back to us.
Okay, let's get to work. We'll start with a pass through the central core. Take initial radiation, gamma ray readings. You get your monkey ready.
Excuse me, sir. I hope you don't mind my saying, but this is a waste of time.
Look, we have standard operating procedures, and
I'm well aware of the procedures, sir, but if we go through all of them, it could be gone.
No manned flights. We start sending out an 8, then if it's safe, we talk about a pilot, in that order.
You need somebody out there who can think. Why don't you just allow me to do my job?
He's the canary, that's the coal mine. Your monkey launches at 1600.
As of minute 8, we have an Oberon's worth of apes and humans and a postcard to boot.
So visually, we are looking at that Leo walks towards a bridge, assuming a bridge, since we know where he goes. He gets his hand scanned, the door opens, and he walks in to see a bunch of astronaut-type people at consoles looking out of windows. We look around. We see what we assume is his commander because of the way he speaks to him. And then it's back and forth through a couple of consoles until we hear the idea that we are getting electronic communications from Earth from all time. At which time, and I'm going to cycle through as many things as I can tell what they are, we get images of Hitler, Stalin. We see then, oddly, the day the Earth stood still within it. We get an image of a deer. We get some kind of Asian film samurai look. We get Bill Clinton. We get the Pope. I can't tell. There's one image that kind of quick. Oh, it's Castro.
Cesar Chavez.
Yeah. And then we see the Iwo Jima flag raised. So it's a lot of weirdly placed images from media within Earth. We stay here and banter back and forth within the console. That is visually it.
It did have a sense of some of the visual stuff being a little bit more towards the
Military
and the kind of dictator autocratic stuff.
Well,
it was a little more focused on
some of the first communications that were sent out. One of the things that was electronically broadcast from the Earth was Hitler and doing a speech, and so that's one of the first things that if an alien race ever finds us is going to be communicated. If they pick up that signal, it's going to be Hitler. So thank you, Earth, for that.
Yeah, the stuff they had in here was Scene from Bonanza, Soccer Game in Arabic, The Old Bandstand, Quiz Show, Concentration, Walter Cronkite, A Cooking Show, Tom and Jerry cartoon, BBC cartoon, Young Castro, speechifying. This is what the phrase they use. Ally McBeal, PSA spot in Spanish, Mao waving to troops.
All right, I'm going to say some weird things. Todd, will you hand me that sock under the table?
And they wanted incongruous audio playing while the visuals came back as well.
Sorry, there's the sock.
We have a
It kind of, when they
eating
flash all of that
power
detail in the audience, you only pick up the stuff that was super apparent.
Yeah.
Like Hitler. Hitler was the thing. That was Hitler.
Clinton. You
Yeah.
see the Clinton. You see the Pope. They're a weird amalgamation of images, and
But the thing is, are these images going to pay off in future minutes?
and
Does it really
so
matter?
They're at least trying to set up that something's going on. They don't
With the-
expect to see this transmission. They don't know what's going on. We get Mark talking to the actor Chris Ellis, who I know him as Deke Slayton from Apollo 13.
Oh yeah, Deke. Yeah, Deke.
And he's great in that. And it's funny because in this, he's almost the same exact kind of character.
A little military astronaut kind of.
Very cold in his delivery, yet, he is what he is.
This goes back on the weird stiff dialogue. So's the sun to get too close.
Oh yeah.
It's moving like a storm. That's what it is. An electromagnetic storm. Like there's no reason for it to be kind of a prick.
But the thing is, all right,
Sorry.
so we're around Saturn or something like that, or
Jupiter.
Jupiter, depending on which one the script says. These signals have already passed Earth. They're already gone away. So it's not like you're sitting there waiting for them to show up. They'd have to be bounced backwards somehow to come back to where the station is. So I think they're trying to set up, all right, something's going weird with time, but I don't think they're doing it well.
There is one line in here that would explain so much of what we're seeing, and they did not put it in.
And that line is?
All right, so there's
Shit's going weird with time, Captain.
there's two setups, right, that we didn't hear. Mm-hmm. Right, the first one was we found it. The second one is it found us. Then we jump to it's moving like a storm. That's what it is, an electromagnetic storm. Right, so we do get some of the dialogue, but we found it. It found us. We don't know where this whole minute. We don't know what this is, where it came from, why it's there, if it's their purpose or anything. Right? It's just there.
What they're training the chimps to do. What these
right?
Yeah,
it's
the
moving like a
pods are.
storm. That's what it is. Electromagnetic. Like there's this thing, anomalous thing that's out there.
Maybe if they were trying to track something, yeah.
And that's what I find so incredibly frustrating about this minute is that we get this kind of discussion. I'm going to go just simply off of the captions.
I'm going to give you the line in a second, but that's relevant. But go ahead and say it.
So it's this. I'm going to read the captions. The storms must be bouncing it back to us. Okay, let's get to work. We'll start with a pass through the central core. Hang on, I got to fast forward until I get another caption. Take initial radiation gamma readings. Get your monkey ready. And this is where it really gets frustrating to me. Excuse me, sir. I hope you don't mind me saying, but this is a waste of time. Why? Why is it a waste of time? Why do I need a monkey ready? And then we have standard operating procedures. I'm well aware of the procedures, but if we go through with all of them, it could be gone. No manned flights. We're sending an ape. It's all of this talk doesn't tell me why there's a threat. Doesn't tell me why he thinks it's a waste of time. He's been training this ape.
What are they
Why does
supposed to
he
be doing out
yes,
there?
Yes. Why do I need to explore it? All this is nothing.
Are you ready?
Please.
It's moving like a storm. That's what it is, an electromagnetic storm. This is what's causing the blackouts on Earth.
Well, okay, that would have helped too.
And
That would explain every reason why they're
why
there.
out there?
That would explain why they're there, why the
power
storm is
went
relevant,
out.
why he wants to send something into the storm,
Right.
why the power went out and nobody panicked.
Right.
This is a common occurrence.
And that line has to be delivered in a very this is why, it's like
this is what's causing the blackouts on
it
Earth.
has to be. It can't just be informative. It has to be. I am telling you why we're here, and you know this. And if they've done that, this minute entirely works. God,
They need that one line. That
know what
one line. And
Know what I love? The electric magnetic storm that affects one thing: digital clocks. Nothing else digital gets
That's not in the
effect on a
script.
fucking space station where
Yeah.
everything is digital. Just the clocks get affected.
that was, that could have been just a toss away line at some point once we know that it's causing anomalies or blackouts on Earth. Once we know that it's causing blackouts on Earth, it explains what happened to the space station, it explains why they're there, it explains why he wants to send a canary into the coal mine, it explains why it's the fucking coal mine. I mean, it just that one line would tell everything. Then it would make the satellite images more bizarre.
Yeah.
That they're getting this bounce back from Earth from this object, and they're confused by the fact that they're getting signals from Earth from this object.
I wonder why they cut it. Is that a cut that they go, okay, this isn't really important. It's not what the movie's about. Yet we have so many red herrings in films that aren't what the movie's about. It's to set up why they're there. I don't need to know what the movie's about at this point. You're going to give me 2 hours of exposition to tell me that story. Tell me why they're here. And I think that line, I would even go so far with that line, I might actually like this movie up to this point, because then it becomes a movie about something else that changes. This... As it is, ooh, that was weird. This makes no sense whatsoever. What they're doing, why they're there, who they are, what they want. Isn't what they want important?
Yes.
Why they're there? What's going on?
If
why
nothing
they're in
else,
space?
if it's just scientific, we're just doing exploration. Let us know that we're doing.
We've never seen an anomaly like this before.
We're doing our first trip to Saturn, our first trip to Jupiter, whatever you want to say. Let's put that out there, but. That's why we're putting monkeys here, because radiation is too dangerous for a man or whatever. Or we're trying to find an anomaly that's on space. Yeah, let us know that.
At least in the first film, we had that weird pontification of Charlton is the first, where they were going to colonize.
We're going to the future.
Yeah, they had a purpose what they were doing, and that's why at least when they go and it goes wrong, we know it's wrong. Right now, we don't know what's wrong, what's going on, to the point that when things go wrong, we don't know that. I don't know. It just feels so like they got plates spinning for no reason.
I'm sure he was probably involved in the editing room, but you kind of wonder, these first little bits were kind of breaking apart. Like, did something get lost in editing? Was there other stuff that was supposed to be here that it's not there? Grady, do not chew the cables. Come on.
So. I know we're living in a future that this movie was not made in, because it was made in 2001 and we're living in 2020. Yeah, there's no future footage from 2021 to 2020 now.
Yeah,
Zelensky, hell, Ukraine being bombed right now would be footage in there.
Tiananmen Square, all these kind of things that could have happened. But I think that that footage alone, they should have even shot their own arbitrary guerrilla warfare or things like that, just to toss in so that it had that timeless feel.
We're one of the things that that we would know by today's standard in terms of how we conduct these things. We don't know why they need an ape to go into a spaceship, and why the ape would be flying the spaceship. Today we'd use use a drone.
Or a drone, yeah.
We'd use a drone. We would need an ape for a reason. Right now, there's no reason why we need an ape.
Unless you're trying to do a biological study of somehow how it's affected.
I'm pretty sure even in 2001, they wouldn't have used an ape. They would have used an unmanned moon lander or something. I need a reason why they're sending an ape there who has to fly to a certain point. Like, even, they could have at least told us that it was on autopilot or some type of program stuff, and then the ape has to do something that they can't do.
I think back to, and it's more fantasy than this is science fiction, but The Empire Strikes Back, they go out on the Tauntauns because the speeders aren't ready. You at least set that.
There's just sock over here. Sorry,
we're all
doing
dealing with
conversation about Gertie.
But you look at Empire Strikes Back, where they look and they say you have to go on the Tauntaun because the speeders aren't ready.
Yeah,
there's a narrative
they freeze
there.
Up, at night.
And if they were to say to Leo at this point, the manned capsules aren't ready for launch, we have to investigate now.
Only can
something
only
like that
last for so long, or the apes. They work better with the electromagnetic radiation.
We need to send an ape in there so we know it's safe to send a human in there. Something that.
And we also need to see Leo saying something to Pericles like, "You're not ready for this. I can't let them send you out because you'll get killed." He needs. Why is he so adamantly ugly about that? This let's not send.
But he's also antagonistic towards the monkey, where he's like not giving the treat.
You're absolutely right.
Like you failed on your entry thing. You're supposed to hit these buttons. Remember? Also, here's your treat. Also, by the way, you don't get a treat. I mean, yeah.
She's trying to chew on the power cables.
That's
we don't
her.
want that.
No. Sorry.
Unlimited power.
I wish you could all see her. She's super cute, but she is definitely a puppy. And
she's going after those power cables. They are good on her.
On her
gums,
teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all I have for the minute. I mean, the minute really is a lot of flipping back and forth.
My question is, why did Leo have to be called to the bridge just to be told his monkey needs to be ready instead of, all right, there's a weird thing going on out there. Get your monkey ready.
Well, and to that point, if you're going to have this escalation that he's going to confront his commander, why? Okay, let's go back to Sean's idea. He doesn't need to go to the bridge for this. What if he's getting this communication, puts on a headset, and he's walking, and he actually storms on the bridge, and then the captain says something like, "You are not to ever come in here and question me." You need that dynamic that says why they're at odds like this.
Yeah, like you want him to say, "No, the monkey's not ready. He failed his last pod test. He should not be going in." And the guy going, "No, we got to get that. He's the best trained ape we have right now.
Yeah.
Chromosome enhanced, everything. Get him out there." And
that's
no.
where it could have come up. That was actually where it could have come up. Their chromosome enhanced
No
ape.
shit, that's perfect, because why have we learned? Okay, he doesn't want this ape to go out, yet they're chromosome enhanced, super scientific monkeys. Why do we know that at this point, and yet he doesn't trust anything about it? This information doesn't.
We don't
jive
know why they're in space. We don't know why they're sending this ape out there. We don't know
why wasn't Leo's. Okay, you want a way to offer exposition to where they tell me the story. His postcard should have been about why they're there.
Something.
All right, so
it could have been, I know you're out there doing the work to save us and all this kind of stuff. Something like that. If the blackouts on Earth or whatever, that could have happened there. That would have been much more naturalistic than any of the other shit.
So here's my last note, and I thought I put in future minutes, but I didn't see it there. So he's going, the captain of the ship or whatever, the commander is going, he's canary, that's coal mine, let's go out there. So canaries and coal mines, yes, they had a canary, you brought it down there. If it started getting sick, if passed out, you have to leave there. But they actually had a system that had oxygen that brought the canary back, because people were getting so upset that, why are you sending us down there just to kill a bird so that we can maybe die as well? We want to protect this bird. Mm-hmm. So, all right, it's a canary. There's a coal mine. Go. No, I bring a canary down there. I bring a canary back alive too, because this canary protected my goddamn life.
Right.
So he should be saying, no, I'm not sending the ape out there to die. The ape out there is supposed to go out there and find out what's going on and come back, so we know that we can go out there and live instead of going out there and dying. He should be protecting this ape.
I get what they're going for, to create the idea that, the first times we go into space, we send apes up and dogs up to make sure that we can live. Yet, when you don't explain again what the threat is, I don't know that there's a threat. I don't know what's going to happen.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
The captain should say something like, the radiation levels there are too high for you to be going out. We need to make sure that you got to tell me these things.
We could have taken every minute we've seen so far, reverted to a couple of things. Mm-hmm. Change the position of the actual clip to the edit, and it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
If we had left in the this is what is causing the blackouts on Earth, if we had left the conversation from the family, if we had heightened the tension by having the apes freak out, and when the power goes out, we could have started with the message from his family, moved to the research facility, moved to the blackout moment, moved to him, Pericles failing in the pod, move to the control room where he insists Pericles has to go out, and boom, we're ready for what's going on.
I love the idea of actually starting with the message from the family. That's one thing.
Oh yeah, you start with that.
One thing I can't.
It's been 2 years. When are we going to see you again?
Yeah, one thing I can't stand in a movie is when it's, hey, you got a phone call. How often does that actually happen? Even when we had landlines, sure, your mom might tell you those things, but usually you hear it and you answer it, or cut to that character already in the action of taking it in. If you start with that phone call, you allow us to hear so much about the world. We understand what he's doing, that he's missed, that he's loved. We understand him as a character. And I think that by starting with the idea of training the monkey, I don't know why they're training. I already have too many questions that are not going to be answered. It's very smart. We should send Richard back in time and have him produce this movie and say, you guys...
Just a simple little re-edit.
Yeah.
We'll leave one line in, heighten the tension when the blackout happens in the space, and revert to the original message. Start with the message.
Well, we had to spend 3 minutes making scenes of ape helmets and chest plates. And
when he walks into the control room and he says it's a colossal waste of time, if he had just failed Pericles' test the scene before, he knows that this is going to be a mistake already, and he's going to want to go out there, and it's going to make a little more sense why he doesn't want to make Pericles go out there, because his test just failed.
Well, what if he actually fails him on purpose because he thinks that this is futile and he's terrified for him, and that becomes interesting. The idea
want you to
of
fail,
protecting him, that at least makes more sense than just this ambivalent. This is stupid. You know? Sorry,
his delivery on this was particularly just kind of mundane, and there was no, particularly with the energy that the pilot or the captain is giving. You know,
Right.
It doesn't really play into it.
he's a very weird action star because he looks like a little boy, yet he's a ripped man who takes care of himself and has an intimidating presence, and yet he sounds kind of like a street thug occasionally when he
Say
talks.
hello to your mother.
Where is he from? Why am I forgetting?
I'm probably Boston.
That's what I thought. And he has that deep accent too when he's. I don't want to begrudge all that, but it's very weird in this kind of idea of a scientific person. He doesn't ring true to that. It's the same as when he was in
He
that
was
one
born in Dorchester, Boston.
that one M. Night Shyamalan movie where he's supposed to be a school teacher, and I thought, nope, not watching that. I don't buy that. Sorry.
All right, everybody, the wind. The wind's a problem. The
Anyway.
earth hates the earth.
Does anybody got anything else for that?
I need
No,
some
I
water.
think I'm good.
All right.
I think I could work this minute to death.
It is one of those that the thing that I feel about this is that some of the other movies where we've been like, these are, you can tell there have been too many voices going at this. This isn't a bad idea. It's just it's execution where it needs to be, what you need to say
feels
to
like,
to
it
fine
feels like they
tune it.
watched the first movie and said, all right, we got to give a reason why they went there, but we can't really figure out the reason why they went there.
Right.
As a fan of sci-fi, I'm enjoying the setup of all of this and watching it unfold.
Sure.
We complain about how dimly lit the sets are, things like that. I'm still just like, hey, there's a space station.
Yeah.
I'm still just kind of just in love with anything sci-fi. So if I were not a sci-fi fan, I would probably be really annoyed right now. But as a sci-fi fan, I'm like, oh, this is cool. What world are they setting up? What kind of stuff? As watching it minute by minute, I'm breaking down, well, this doesn't make any sense. Well, this doesn't really work. I don't know why they're there, you know?
I think that look, I'm an apologist too for a lot of sci-fi and fantasy type stuff. But I think that maybe now the impossible thing with this is with how good we've gotten with fantasy and sci-fi today.
Right.
It's impossible to go back to this and not go, wow, they really have a huge missed opportunity here. You can't watch a show like The Expanse that's so deeply tied together and then go back and watch something that just doesn't make sense. You just can't do it.
Well, science will always change because we learn new things, and so we're going to find out everything's wrong that we know was sitting down in gravity right now, right here, doesn't work, and so we should actually be floating. We'll just find out what's wrong with science fiction movies in the future. It's supposed to be, you got to remember the fiction part of the science.
Yeah, but the problem is that's the problem. The fiction part of this doesn't work. Fiction implies that we're creating a narrative, and I don't think their narrative is very clear. Okay, I'm going to end it. Gavel. Boom.
I'm working too much on Gertie.
Yeah, I don't think it's taking anything away from it, so don't worry about that. But I feel for Sean as he's trying to be a good daddy to his new baby.
I'm trying to protect all your cables.
I appreciate that.
Because you can cable.
All right, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Come